Hello, today is Thursday, July 23rd, 2026. Here is your daily signal. According to Business Insider, renewed U.S. airstrikes against Iran and ongoing conflict in the Strait of Hormuz have sharply driven up global oil prices, pushing U.S. gas prices close to $4 per gallon. The escalation began earlier in July 2026 as negotiations stalled, with the Strait of Hormuz remaining a critical shipping choke point that historically handles about 20% of global oil transit. On July 20th, Iran attacked a tanker in the strait, forcing its crew to abandon ship, while the U.S. launched its 10th consecutive night of airstrikes, highlighting direct risks for tanker crews and disruptions in oil flows. Goldman Sachs projects that by the end of 2028, new Middle East pipeline capacity could insulate 75% of Gulf oil exports from reliance on the Hormuz route, a shift that could reshape the industry. In the short term, volatility in oil prices and elevated U.S. gasoline costs appear set to continue as replacement infrastructure is developed, while shipping insurance rates and regional instability may further strain supply chains and investment decisions. Medium term, the new pipelines could reduce the strategic importance of Hormuz, but risks for crew safety and economic uncertainty remain high. Next, onto banking operations in the West Bank. In the Israeli-occupied West Bank, Associated Press reports that banks are struggling to operate efficiently due to Israeli-imposed restrictions on cash transfers, creating a crisis of excessive liquidity. These regulations, in place for years but recently intensified, prevent Palestinian banks from depositing surplus cash with Israeli institutions, resulting in over $500 million in cash piling up in vaults and imposing physical hardship and logistical challenges for banking staff. The Palestinian Monetary Authority describes severe difficulties. Cash hoarding is disrupting local business and ATM withdrawals in cities like Ramallah and Hebron, exposing banks to theft and increased security costs. Experts warn that short-term consequences include potential liquidity crises and operational disruptions, while prolonged restrictions risk worsening economic isolation in the West Bank, decreasing public trust in the sector, and increasing dependence on informal cash systems. These measures could further strain Israeli-Palestinian economic relations. Next, we look at the mathematical and computational underpinnings of fiscal laws. Next, Big Future published an article examining Richard Feynman's thesis that mathematics is crucial for the rigorous description of physical laws, while raising the question of whether computation lies at the root of nature itself. Feynman's seminal 1960 lecture and book The Relation of Mathematics to Physics established the mathematical foundations for understanding natural law, pointing out that fundamental laws are often expressible in precise mathematical terms. With advances in quantum computing and digital simulations, contemporary debate is expanding the thesis, connecting Feynman's ideas to computational models that simulate natural phenomena. On July 20, 2026, analysis highlighted how stronger computational models may soon improve the predictive power of physics simulations and influence academic funding priorities towards algorithmic sciences. Medium term, these shifts may accelerate progress in quantum computing, lead to new interdisciplinary curricula combining math and computational physics, and reshape how scientists approach the building blocks of nature. Now, onto the markets. European markets advanced, with Spain up 1.13% and EWP leading gains among peers, while Germany saw modest moves and EWG closed slightly lower. France rose 0.73% with EWQ as a notable riser. Italy gained 0.89%, supported by EWI, while the Netherlands eked out a small rise with EWN. Chile and Belgium each posted gains, with ECH and EWK up around 1% and 0.99% respectively. Australia moved little, and China large-cap stocks slipped 0.58%, led lower by FXI. Japan fell 0.59% as EWJ trailed, while India lost 1.15% with INDA as the day's top loser in major Asian markets. Taiwan outperformed with a 1.09% increase as EWT led. Hong Kong surged 1.08%, driven by EWH, Singapore climbed 1.26%, and Indonesia ticked up 0.09%. Malaysia dipped by 0.21%, Saudi Arabia gained 0.69%, and the Arab Emirates, Qatar, and Israel saw losses, each down slightly. Africa added nearly 1.2% to cap a stronger day for the continent. In commodities, U.S. oil jumped 2.2% and USO was the standout, while gold advanced 1.15% and GLD outperformed. Silver surged 1.58%, agriculture rose 0.28%, and corn rallied 1.5% with wheat soaring over 3%. Copper slipped by 0.71%, and uranium rose 1.79%, while lithium was flat. Carbon gained a strong 3.2%, making KRBN the top gainer in commodities today, while platinum increased modestly. Among sectors, semiconductors rose 0.51% led by stocks, while aerospace climbed 0.6%. The S&P 500 and finance dipped marginally, healthcare dropped 0.51%, and real estate and transportation pushed lower. Agriculture stocks gained 1.24%, while clean energy fell 0.55%. Notable gainers included PN Smart Energy Limited, up over 103%, while Weather Robotics tumbled 84% as the steepest dropper. That's it for today. You can find more news and details on our website. Goodbye.